Welcome back, everyone. We're here for another Go Shop Local edition, and today I have with me, I'm very excited, my wife's very excited because she loves Brandi. Brandi's with us, and if you haven't met Brandi before, this is kind of a little intro for you, gives you an idea, but maybe you can tell us what you do other than being a mom and a wife.
No, I am a artist. We have an in-home studio where we are right now. And so I've been doing it for selling art for like 15 years, which seems crazy to say. So what I do, this behind me is just like a fun, our studio wall never looks, it's semi-nice right now, but it doesn't really always look like that. That's just because we're doing a photo shoot in here tomorrow for our new collection. So it is, we're gonna have a bunch of little kids drawing on it, and we have apparel coming out that goes with our 35-piece new collection, art collection, called Geometrics, the Finn collection. So there he is, the star of the show, my son Finn. So he's 4, and we made this whole thing together. So that's kind of what I do. After I had my first child, I realized that like being a solo career artist, I would never get to have the time or the space to just like sit here and paint by myself. So I started incorporating Gus, my first child, and we came up with a 44-piece collection that traveled to 3 venues across Canada. Being an artist, like especially a painter, it's such an independent thing. And I usually work with environmental factors. Like I'm really inspired by, what's going on around me, emotions, and it just felt right. Like it felt right including Gus in my practice. And then of course I put out a call to locals, like anyone who wants to come pose for this new series we're working on, I'll photograph you and then you'll be in it. Like no strings attached, just like be part of our little project. So yeah, it ended up being 44 portraits.
Oh wow.
Which was crazy, and all locals. And yeah, it was more of an installation too for the openings. So we invited families, which isn't typical for a gallery. Like usually like a gallery opening is a bit like wine, a little snobby sort of deal. And so we had, at the one here, we had 115 people come with their families and kids, and we had like suckers tied to balloons and like swords and books and like ride along toys. Like, so the paintings were super colorful and playful and fun, and just like a result of, that connection and the time spent together and how cool it was. And not only that, but like creativity really sparks emotional intelligence. Like it really feeds that extra level for children. So it's kind of like a happy accident, but now I'm a really big advocate for being creative with kids.
Awesome.
I have a course about it actually, so a whole course.
So painting with kids.
Yeah, getting creative with kids, not just painting. Like we don't take you through like how to paint with kids, but setting yourself up like time-wise for successful creation with kids. So making a routine and connecting with them on that beautiful level that we kind of accidentally stumbled upon, but now are super into it.
So is most of your stuff, is it like, as I look at the floor here, it's awesome, I love it, there's paint everywhere. So is all your design, is it always painting? Is there other designs involved or what?
Yeah, so mostly we work with, we stay in the realm of abstract or portraiture. Like I don't really typically say no to a project. Like if someone has an idea, I'm pretty I'm like, yeah, that sounds super fun, let's do it. Like in terms of murals too, like when people do a mural, like they always have an idea or they've seen something on Pinterest or, so we tackle and we work together, especially with like my biggest thing is custom artwork.
Okay.
So people really love to get like capture a memory or like a birth, or if someone's lost someone, like it's really hard to hang their portrait in your home. But if you you can get a beautiful painting of them. It's probably surprisingly like the number one project, and I'm really honored that people come to me for it. So, but yeah, we do large scale murals. You've probably seen some around town. We're working on some for spring 2022, and then like figurative portraiture work, stuff like that. Yeah.
Well, if anybody's seen a big campaign around town, is the Co-op Kindness Wins.
Yeah.
Mastermind behind it.
No, not the mastermind.
You had the front of the t-shirts. Sweaters, everything was you. Was it not?
No, Christine, yes, I designed it. Christine came for me from the co-op. They had already been doing it for 10 years. I think we're in year 11 or 9 years.
Oh, wow.
So it's a big thing, and I'm just happy when we did it that the design kind of took off in like this crazy popular way. And I know it's popular and cool because I like every day I see someone wearing them. Mm-hmm. And like teenage boys. So I'm like, I don't know when I got so cool, but I'll really just roll with it. So we're doing it again, new design, but I can't take credit for the hard work that's gone along with it. I'm just an advocate for, of course, anti-bullying. It's super close to my heart, and of course, positivity and kindness is a big part of like my daily practice, and the more we can, practice like coming together and working together and supporting one another, that's just like, I'm all for it.
So as we sit here, where did this all start? What did you do before? What inspired you saying, hey, I'm gonna do this is the route I'm gonna go?
Yeah. Well, I do have my BFA, so I have my degree in fine arts, visual arts, and of course we talked about I minored in film, like just dabbled because I really love it, but that's not where I decided to take my focus, but it's always, like I've always felt the need to create, of course, and it just kind of grew and evolved into something, of course, a little like unexpected, like in the way it went, and the fear thing, like I had, so with the birth of our first two children, I lost my mother, and then right before my first son was born, and then after my second son was born, Finn, we had suddenly lost my father-in-law. So it kind of, it was a hard time, and that grief was so overwhelming, but it kind of, it's a lesson and it's a gift, and I treat it as such, that the gift that time is our most precious commodity. There's no room for fear. Mm-hmm. Like, I can't do that because I don't, like, what if no one likes it? Like, or something like that would normally have stopped me maybe in the past, but now I'm like, I really feel like I should paint a mural this year. One night, I was like, I really like them. I think I could do it. And then the community, our community is so supportive. Like, even though like I've never done a mural, people are like, oh, she's fun. So so I actually messaged Jill from Red Bicycle. Yeah. And I said, hey, Jill, know anyone who wants a mural? And she's like, yeah, I do. John, for sure. Occupational testing, and he wants one. So it wasn't that easy. Like, it's never that easy. It always comes with like a lot of work and communication, and more than you think, because with murals you have to meet and design it and come up with concepts and whatnot. So long story short, I got to do a 50-foot mural. Wow. When I really, and the logistics never occurred to me, like there are 8 layers, like an exterior mural, to make sure it's weatherproof and stuff like that, and graffiti proof and all those things. So like there was a lot more to it than I initially anticipated, but I loved doing it. And it was a fun project. It's
the best way to learn.
Yes. And so I really couldn't have done all that I do when the community's like, yes, Brandi, we're on board, right? Everything everything has happened and because of the beautiful support I have. And again, like those lessons of like, life's too short to have fear going into anything. I'm like, oh, I feel like I want to write a book. So now I'm writing a book. And
good for you.
And yeah, and it all ties together. It's all a creative part of myself. If I could just sit and create all day and have everyone do the rest, that would be great. But I do a lot of the back end stuff myself, but I also have a beautiful team who I partner up with who captures some of it. And it's good to have nice friends who believe in you. That, like Kim actually, so Kim from Nara Studios does a lot of the video. And he actually came here, I think 6 or 7 years ago when he first started.
Okay.
He's like, I really want to capture what you're doing. And I was like, really? You know, like, I don't think it's anything, but sure, whatever. And he saw something that I didn't yet.
Yeah.
And vice versa. Like, I know that he's going to even be like huger than, because I see something that maybe he doesn't.
Right.
And so it comes along with really good friends too. And we're so lucky in Lloydminster to have like people maybe just starting out, but they're talented.
Yeah, it's an amazing community. I mean, from doing all these profiles, we've got a lot of good stuff within this community. It's amazing. So last question is for the viewer that's watching, if they had something, can they get in touch with you? Is that something you do? Are you?
Yeah, it's very easy to get a hold of me. I come up on Google for sure. Even when people Google Lloyd now, which is crazy, I come up there.
Cool.
Yeah, it's a good thing. But that comes along with, 15 years of putting myself up there really hard. Yeah, so you can find me really active on Instagram, Brandi Hofer Studios, and my website, brandihofer.ca, is where you'll see all our collections, these beautiful collections of artwork, things I'm working on, not only locally, but in the world. So I know a lot of people see me locally, but in the art world, I'm also very active with a lot of groups in New York, and we've got big network that way, and mostly like female artists connecting. So we all support one another in like a bigger way, but of course people don't really notice because not everyone is into like the art world so heavily like I am. But yeah, so you'll see all our apparel, prints, and custom art, and all the neat projects we're working on that we can't wait to announce, but can't quite announce yet, but it's so neat.
Well, good job, good for you. I mean, the place is pretty cool in here, and my wife's always showing me videos all the time of you painting with the kids, and I mean, you just have such cool ideas, and yeah, you're a great inspiration. So
thank you. Thanks for being here. It was super fun to chat.
It was awesome. Thanks, Brandi. Best of luck.
Thanks.